Today, we're heading deep into the African savannah, where a camera is about to capture a story of survival that is so unbelievable, it seems to defy the very laws of nature. This is a story about a bond that just refused to be broken. So, imagine you're a wildlife photographer. You've been doing this for 15 years. You've seen it all, right? The hunts, the migrations, the circle of life. But then, one day, you see something so shocking, it just stops you dead in your tracks. Well, that's exactly what happened here. So let's dive in. Section 1, a photographer's shocking discovery. This whole incredible story kicks off with just a chance encounter under that scorching African sun, an encounter that would set a desperate rescue into motion. Okay, let's meet our guy, Mark. For 15 years, his entire life has been looking at this world through a camera lens. He's seen the big cats hunt, he's seen elephant herds on the move, you name it, he's probably photographed it. He's a total pro. But nothing, and I mean nothing, could have prepared him for what he was about to see. He's scanning the horizon, and he spots this flicker of movement, maybe 200 meters away. So he zooms in, and what comes into focus is just horrifying. It's a young male lion, but it's just skin and bones. And it's staggering forward, literally trapped inside a heavy black truck tire. The sight was just absolutely devastating. This wasn't a powerful predator anymore. This was a ghost. A living corpse. And as Mark got a little closer, the lion didn't even try to threaten him. It just stared at him with these pleading eyes as if it was literally begging for help. And the question just hangs in the air, right? How in the world does this even happen? A tire out here in the middle of nowhere, slowly killing one of nature's most majestic animals. Well, to get the answer, we have to go back 2 years. Section 2. The lion's 2-year prison. Yeah, you heard that right. This wasn't some recent accident. This was a long, agonizing ordeal that started, believe it or not, with just a simple moment of playful curiosity. So it all started with a discarded tire. For a young, curious lion cub, it must have looked like a strange new toy. He playfully slipped his body through the middle, but when he tried to back out, he was stuck. The tire wouldn't budge. And just like that, a simple game turned into a 2-year prison sentence. And this physical prison, well, it created a social one too. In the brutal, unforgiving world of a lion pride, there is just no room for weakness. He couldn't hunt, he couldn't keep up, he became a liability. So the pride's leader drove him out, exiled him. And that forced his own mother to make an impossible choice: abandon her son or risk being cast out herself. For 2 long, agonizing years, he was completely alone, surviving on whatever scraps he could find. Section 3, a race against predators. Okay, let's jump back to the present. Mark has put out a call for a rescue team, but help is still at least an hour away. And just when you think things couldn't get any more desperate, well, they're not alone anymore. You have to understand, the scent of a dying animal travels fast on the savannah. And it's like an open invitation. A pack of hyenas, sensing a super easy meal, starts to close in, their eyes just fixed on this helpless lion. Mark knew if he didn't do something, they would both be attacked. Mark had to think, and he had to think fast. He grabs his camera drone and sends it buzzing aggressively right at the pack, using the noise and movement to startle them. Then he pulls out an emergency flare and fires it right into the middle of the pack. They scatter into the bushes. It wasn't a permanent solution, but it was just enough to buy them some precious time. Section 4, the impossible rescue. And right as the hyenas retreat, the rescue team roars up in their truck. The cavalry has arrived. But fending off predators? Turns out that was just the warm-up act. The real challenge, freeing this lion, was just about to begin. The team manages to get a scale under the tire, and the reading is just staggering: 20 kilograms. That's about 44 pounds. For 2 years, this starving lion had been carrying the weight of a small child around its neck, a weight that just got heavier and heavier as it filled with dirt and mud. The lead vet, Dr. Sarah, does a quick field assessment, and the news is grim. We're talking severe dehydration, severe malnutrition, and a nasty infection that's already spreading. The lion's heart is so weak, she says, that a strong sedative would probably kill it. So they were faced with this massive gamble. The lion was too weak for full sedation. That meant they'd have to use a power cutter to slice through the tire while it was still partially conscious. One wrong move, one sudden thrash from the lion, could be catastrophic for everyone, but it was their only shot. Someone had to hold the lion steady, and Mark, without hesitation, volunteered. As Dr. Sarah started cutting, sending sparks flying everywhere, the terrified lion thrashed, its claws digging into Mark's arms. But he held on tight, whispering to the animal, just refusing to let go. And then, with a final screeching cut, the tire split in two and just fell to the ground. He was free. But the sight was just heartbreaking. His skin was raw and infected, his ribs permanently grooved into the shape of the tire that had been his prison for 2 long years. Section 5. A Mother's Unbreakable Bond. The team starts treating the lion's wounds, probably thinking the worst is finally over. They were wrong. Drawn by the scent of fresh blood, the hyenas were back. But this time, something was different. So the hyenas are closing in again, a little more cautious this time. The young lion actually staggers to his feet, trying to protect Mark. But just as the pack is about to make its move, this deep, powerful roar echoes across the plains, and it freezes every single animal in place. And from behind a huge rock, a strong, healthy lioness appears. It was his mother. She charged right through the hyena pack, scattering them like bowling pins, before she turned to the son she hadn't touched in 2 years. She walked up to him slowly, nuzzling him, and started licking his wounds. And here's the part of the story that is just unbelievable. Later, Mark was going back through his photos from the last few months, and he realized he'd seen her before. A faint silhouette, always in the background, always watching from a distance. She had never actually abandoned him. For 2 years, she had been shadowing her son, protecting him from afar. The entire rescue team just watched in silence as the mother and her son, finally together again, turned and started walking slowly toward the horizon. And whenever the young lion would stumble, his mother would stop and wait for him. Their 2 years of pain, they were finally over. So what does a story like this really tell us? In a world that is governed by the absolute harshest rules of survival, a mother's love somehow found a way to defy all of them. It's just an incredible reminder that even in the wildest places on Earth, some bonds are truly, truly unbreakable.